Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to do a collab video, and this is kind of ties in part with like the last video I posted, which was ranking all of my Juvia's Place palettes in my collection with like an honorable mention of a discontinued one. And then I was talking about how I had been pining after a couple other palettes from Juvia's Place, only to find out that I think they might have been low-key discontinued by Juvia's Place. So my friend Hayleigh here on YouTube, I will link her in the cards as well as in the description box below. We were chatting on DMs on Instagram, kind of like back and forth about how like I had the Douce palette and she wanted that, and she was like bummed that she couldn't get her hands on it, and I'm bummed that the Tribe is discontinued. Apparently it's on Ulta's website right now, but it's completely gone off of Juvia's Place's website, and I don't know if that means that it's just like going away for good, or if that means they are just needing to restock them with like the whole thing of like the pandemic that's going on. So we thought it was kind of fitting and fun to send each other pictures and swatches of these palettes and then dupe them using our own collection. So if you have not, I will link Hayleigh's video down below in the description box, as well as I will link it and her channel in the cards up above. But I think we did a really good job on this, and I haven't seen her like a look with what she picked out, but I know like she swatched the shades for me and I thought that they were spot on, just like vice versa. I showed her what I picked and I'm going to share that with you guys today, and I think I'm pretty spot on. I mean, there's definitely some things that aren't exact, but I mean that's to come from just duping a palette with the products in your collection. But I think we both did a pretty awesome job on this, and I am so excited about this. Before we get too far into the video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It does help me out. I really appreciate everyone that's joined this little community that we've created. My last name is going to soon be Cutie, so I'm wondering if I should just call you guys my cuties, or if that's like too cringy. Let me know. But yeah, let's just get into this video duping the Juvia's Place Tribe palette, the one that got away. I'm going to put a picture of the Tribe palette up here, and I'm going to show you my palette now, and I think I did a pretty good job on this. So that is what mine is looking like, and I think I did a pretty darn good job on duping this palette out. I will put some swatches, and I mean I am wearing this today. I thought it was very fitting to do like my whole eye look using this palette here, my Tribe palette, and I used every single shade that is in this palette on my look today, which I'm pretty excited about. So let's just kind of talk about the shades, and maybe I should hold this up. I don't know, or should I just have a picture? I don't know. So the first shade here is ColourPop Keep Scrollin'. It is a single. I will link it. I will link all of these shades if I can. If I cannot, or if they were part of a palette, I will link the palette that I used. However, by no means do I think that you need to buy an entire palette, one, to depot, two, to get a 9-pan color story. This is just what I used in my collection to get this. So the first one is a ColourPop single and Keep Scrolling. It's beautiful. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's kind of like, I want these shades to work all the time. They're not the most pigmented, but I think that's just like the name of the game with these kind of shades. It's like that, oh, what's that gum? Double mint, maybe? It's like double mint green. So that is what that guy is kind of looking like. If you have the ABH Prism palette, Sphere is very similar to this. I also have a shade Lucky Charm from Looksy Beauty that's very similar to that as well, but I think Keep Scrolling is the one that performs the best. Moving next to it here, this orange was in my Pan Those eyeshadows. This is from the Morphe James Charles palette. This is the shade 518. But really any matte, bright orange would do the trick. So that is that guy there. So that is 518. The next one in is again from the James Charles palette. This is Socialblade. That is like the bright green that's in the palette, almost like a true grass green. Like when I imagine like a grass green, this is the color I kind of, gosh, I'm terrible at swatches. Okay, so that is Socialblade, and that's the top row wrapped up. Again, these two are from the Morphe James Charles palette. By no means do I think that you need to go out and buy a whole palette for a couple shades. So we're gonna move down to the next row, this one here. And the first color I have here looks like just a true white. However, this is one of the most, oh gosh, I have orange on my finger. This is one of the most cool shades I have in my collection. This is from the brand Dandelions Company. It's a small indie brand. Their shop is on Etsy. And this is kind of like I was expecting this to be a better dupe to Electric from the Subculture palette. It's just a little bit more white based, which is fine. It's beautiful. And I think that it works perfectly. I don't even know if you'll be really able to see this. That is 𝙁𝙘𝙚 from Dandelions Company. It's a beautiful, I don't know if you're going to really be able to pick up the shift on it, but it does have like a gold, almost has like, if I'm looking at it in the right angle, has almost like a peachy reflect, but it's mostly like that white base, goldy green kind of shade. Then we move on to another shade that's in the Morphe James Charles palette, and that is this shade here. This shade is called Wig. Any bronze would do it. This is more of like a brown based bronze. I think a more green based bronze would, or like something that's like tinted a little bit more dirty, like with the green in it, or an olivey kind of bronze would fit a little bit better. But again, I'm working with what I have. So that is Wig down here. Beautiful shade. I think it looks really beautiful. So that was a Wig here. Moving over to this shade here, another one from the Morphe James Charles palette. This shade is called Cape Cod. It is like a teal kind of shade, really beautiful. Actually, I was rearranging some of my singles recently, and I think I'm gonna actually end up decluttering this shade. However, seeing it in this palette kind of re-inspires me, and actually using it has kind of re-inspired me to maybe not declutter this shade yet and keep it in my collection and then just play around with it, especially if I am creating these dupe palettes like this. So this is Cape Cod. Really, really beautiful. I really love this. And again, I think that color story already just screams the Tribe palette. I mean, clearly that's what we're duping. The next shade down comes from my Morphe 35M Boss Mood palette that I decluttered. This is the shade Nude Tude. This is just a grungy, like a poopy brown, a poopy green. So it's just one of those like really green and like kind of sick looking browns. So I love these shades. I think that this is so beautiful. I just want you to know, like, that is completely like all the way around. So that is Nude Tude there. I think it's beautiful. The next shade also comes from the 35M Boss Mood palette. This is the shade Bright Eyes. I'm gonna be so colorful. So that is Bright Eyes there. Definitely has that like goldy greeny shift that I think actually ties in really well with this like dupe version of a palette. The next shade in my little Tribe dupe is the shade here called Conjure Up. This is a ColourPop single, and that shade I swatched there, and I think this is pretty darn spot on. I'm gonna have a picture of some swatches by Hayleigh over here so you guys can compare. I'm gonna try to like tilt this so the light isn't so crazy. See how I did versus how the swatches from Hayleigh are. And this has totally satiated my desire, my need, my craving to get the Tribe palette. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Hayleigh for like sending me those swatches, like making me realize that I totally have these in my collection. And like some of these shades I like Cape Cod, I was planning on decluttering. So it just goes to show you that like with doing something like this, I've actually kind of found some more rejuvenated love for some of these shades. Like this shade, I think I might keep it for a little bit longer, see how much I reach for it, and if I don't reach for it that much in like the next coming months, I might declutter it then. But I think that since it fits so well in this little dupe, I think I might keep it. It definitely, I think, has a place. Again, I just thank you so much for Hayleigh for collaborating with me on this video. Shop your stash. If you have some items that you think that you've been wanting and are discontinued, or you think that you don't necessarily need them, or you want to see how much use you'd actually get out of them, I highly encourage you to shop your stash. Do not feel the need to always spend and always buy the new releases just because they're new. I have a video that I'm planning on doing later this month of duping new releases, and I have quite a few palettes that are new and so innovative, but I have them in my collection like 10 times over. So I know, and I feel like you probably do too if you have a collection anywhere similar to the size of mine. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I will catch you in my video on Tuesday. Bye!